Wednesday evening in the big story on Action News tonight. Drake's penis. Drake's penis is alive.
Very large.
And it is well, and it may be fake. It may be fake. I don't know, but it could be fake. Drake's penis has been circulating the Delaware Valley and, in fact, the world. And also Toby Keith dead at 56, 62, whatever.
62.
Can you believe Drake's big dick overshadowed Toby Keith?
Not for me.
That's like, dude, if I'm Toby Keith, I am absolutely pissed the fuck off.
Well, he's dead.
All right. If I'm Toby Keith's wife, after I admire, Drake's penis, I'm pissed off about it. I'm like, you know what? Toby was a great guy. Or it's Holo Cup. Politics probably not so good, but
Toby Keith was not a good guy.
Well, I don't know.
He was good. He was a good musician.
You
We'll
know,
put it that
Toby
way.
Keith made it okay to be xenophobic in the mid-2000s.
Okay, dude. I can't even spell that word. There's an X in it. Whatever, dude.
I'm not fantasizing over anybody's penis. I'm just going to put that out there.
Well, I'm not either.
Only
but
Seamus is.
But you gotta have
well,
admiration.
actually, Vince definitely is. Vince
Gotta have
definitely is.
admiration.
Vince is a big Drake guy.
Yeah, I mean,
the day that thing happened, there were a lot of memes on my page, on my For You Twitter or whatever.
that was yesterday.
And I saw some memes and I was laughing at them, and I look in the comments and there's the video.
Yeah. So
I didn't
sure,
go out of
dude.
my way to see
Show
it.
us your search
But, like,
history.
Okay, what am I gonna do now? Lie and say that it isn't an objectively huge cock?
now I admit that this is my fault for starting the show with Drake's penis.
I'm sorry, it's not
but,
gay
like,
to say that. I had to see it.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. I did it as a bit, and I know knowing a guy in the Vince, because he's already done it in group chats. He all he does is talk about it. It's fucking weird.
He's obsessed with it.
It's very strange. But
I think you might need to see a
Such
therapist
lies.
about that, Vince, not the suicidal
Such
thoughts.
lies
But
and slander.
Well,
I might take you guys to the Supreme
all right, we'll
Court.
talk about that at towards the end of the show. But
The Supreme Court.
the reason why we're gathered here today, and I'm talking as if I'm doing a eulogy because, way too many people have died lately, and it's just been kind of a bummer, to say the least. But it's been a bummer. My life has been a bummer lately, and, very depressing, very melancholy. So
a lot of drinking.
I don't want a lot of drinking. I don't. Well, that's no different. But I don't. You're drinking I'm drinking for different reasons now, and it's very dark and depressing and eerie. But anyway. So all that being
This is a
said,
cry for help.
the vibes have not been immaculate lately. So I don't want to talk about the Eagles, of course. I don't want to talk about the Sixers either, although we will get into them a little bit later because, you have to. But I want to try to be an optimistic guy today. I want to try to get the vibes corrected with the podcast, with my life, with my mental health, with, my mental health. And so what better way to get me ready to be happy once again than spring training beginning soon. We are a week away from pitchers and catchers reporting, and truck day.
the truck left today. Yep.
Truck day. So, I mean, listen, man, I'm excited about this Phillies team. There's a lot to talk about. Dave Dombrowski was on with Joe DeCamera, John Ritchie on
Dave
WIP
Dombrowski
today.
Dave Dombrowski is alive?
He is, in fact, alive.
Yeah, you didn't see they claimed an outfielder or no, the pitcher. I don't even fucking know who this guy is actually.
I want to get into that a little bit because I was on the yesterday I was on this train. And when I woke up this morning, I was on the train of, hey, listen, I'm kind of upset with the Phillies offseason because, nothing has happened except for bringing Aaron Nola back, which, I don't consider that an addition.
That's like almost a step backwards.
Well, Seamus, and there's also addition by subtraction in the form of Rhys Hoskins being gone.
And
you
it's
never got to talk about that on this podcast.
And it's good news all around, I think, for both parties. I think Rhys Hoskins, he doesn't have a fit here, obviously. We've been over that. I think he's going to do well in Milwaukee. He's such a Brewer. I know,
he's a Cub.
He's a Cub, but he's a Brewer. What the fuck's the difference between the Cubs and the Brewers?
Yeah, dude, if I could
Well,
close
different
my
colors,
eyes,
different
I could
cities.
see-
They're the
I
same
could
thing.
I can see Reese in a Cubs uniform.
Yeah.
That feels right.
I feel like a Brewer Judy feels
I can
right
see
as
him
well.
as a Padre.
He's going to mash. Yeah, him and Garrett Cooper, his twin. His bald twin, Garrett Cooper.
See, I always marveled at the fact that you were obsessed with Garrett Cooper, but you hated Reese.
I love the Coop. Big fan of the Coop.
But they're the same.
They're not, dude. Garrett Cooper's at least fun, and he's not annoying, and he doesn't have a cult following like Rhys Hoskins does.
But if he
as
came
far
here the
as we
same way
know.
Reese did, he might have.
Maybe, but that's we're playing hypotheticals here. I don't like that, but I'm no longer mad at Dave Dombrowski for not making significant roster moves this year. He explained it pretty well today. And I mean, this team really does not have any glaring holes on paper. We saw what happened in the playoffs last year. There was a lot of needing a contact hitter because obviously this lineup is feast or famine because they're all pretty much power hitters outside of a few. So yeah, that's one need is a contact hitter.
Not a maybe a hole.
No, I think they have one of the best bullpens in the National League, like on paper, easily.
On paper, yes.
Take a look at that bullpen. Jose Alvarado's a dog. He had a 1.74 ERA last year or something ridiculous like that. Gregory Soto's like numbers are there. He was just, and Matt Gell put it perfectly in the Athletic previewing the pitching situation. He was just prone to meltdowns, which I mean that's mostly on like him being unlucky throughout the course of the year.
That also seems like majority of our bullpen though.
Sure. And obviously Craig Kimbrell carried them through the first half of last season. He was an all-star. People are going to shit on him because he had a rough second half. And I mean, he didn't put himself in those playoff games. Just remember that. But he kept that team and the bullpen kept that team in the race when they were floundering to begin the season last year. So no, I don't think the bullpen is of immense concern. Would I like another guy, like another guy to have out there? Sure, but you got to remember guys like Hoffman who are, I mean, he was an absolute dog last year. And if he like, I don't know if it's fair to anticipate him replicating what he did last year. I think that might be nearly impossible, especially considering he's a Philly. And we can never really have nice things, but
fuck all hitters.
Yeah, true. Big facts.
Is the guy that committed vehicular manslaughter still on the roster?
He was just designated for assignment.
Oh, he's gone.
Okay.
So Bellatti's gone. A big spring. This is a big spring for one Connor Brogdon. All right, he's out of minor league options.
How have we not like gotten rid of him though?
Keep in mind though, like he's had success.
He's shown flashes,
in a Phillies uniform.
but like
he had a great run in the playoffs during that magical World Series run a couple years ago, and he was great on the biggest stages and the biggest moments. So, I mean, that guy's got a lot of potential. He's very, very thin. Very thin. Like, shockingly thin, which annoys me. But he was injured last year. He's got to have a big spring training to really make the team because he's out of minor league options. So, it's kind of like a must-compete for him. So, I think that he could be an outlier. Like, I mean, a dark horse candidate to have a big year for the Phils. Keep in mind, like I said, Alvarado's a guy that's been pretty solid. Soto's a guy that's been pretty solid as well.
This is more of a general point, not as much as a Phillies point, but I just got to say, like, talking baseball, sitting here, like, really talking baseball for, like, the first time in this upcoming, like, cycle. And I just got to say that it feels so good, man.
It does.
Just to know that it's, like, really close. And we're getting there. And if for no other reason than the fact that we're in the middle of February, which is like the shittiest like weather month ever, I'm just ready for baseball and spring and summer. I'm just so excited.
I'm so ready, dude. I'm so ready to be back at the bank, man.
I'm so ready to listen to Dancing on My Own again.
Oh man, see that's another debate.
Fuck you.
That was another question asked to Dombrowski by Joe DeCamera today. He said,
"Are you fucking serious?"
He said, "Are you in favor of Dancing on My Own making a comeback in 2024?" And he said, "Listen, they're not going to listen to me and what I say." He said, "I like the song, but you know that's going to be ultimately up to the players," which isn't true. It's going to be up to Kyle Schwarber, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. I mean, remember he brought it back last year, literally out of nowhere.
Yeah, when they were in the middle of a losing streak.
Yeah, in a road trip in Washington.
Yeah, for a while there, it looked like it was going to be Believe by Cher.
So, yeah, that would have been a disaster. That would have been an absolute
that would have been a DS loss, bro.
Yeah, oh, dude. The first round exit. Marlins sweep that series easily. No Stoddy Grand Slam in that one. But, yeah, not the biggest share guy. I will say that at all.
I guess you don't believe in life after love.
I don't even know what that means. All I know is that song was played during gym class like my entire tenure.
Oh, so you just have like
in
PTSD
grade school?
from it.
Oh, dude, it was horrible, dude. It was just
That's
like,
weird.
and we
I
had to
figured
run.
they would've
We had to run until that song was over, and it was just annoying. It didn't.
That does sound pretty fucking.
It was horrible. All I hear is her horrendous voice. She sounds like a man. Like, let's
think she
just be
sounds
honest
like
with
that.
I
that.
figured,
Like,
Seamus, when you were in grade school, that like they were probably playing like the hits of that like era, and that would be like the Beatles. Like,
Oh yeah, that's real unique because I'm the oldest person here by like a year and a half, bro. You're so funny. Like I'm always labeled as the old guy in the room,
You are.
but I'm really
You're a
not.
boomer.
Yeah, I'm not, dude. Like, all right.
Yeah, well, you can't say shit to me because I'm full of youth. I'm real youthful.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
I'm just full of cum.
Same.
What the hell's going on in this show?
Not,
We are so
not
back.
me. I'm full of boyish wonder.
From the Nosebleeds is
So
so
you're
back,
full of
by the
cum
way.
too?
And I'm gonna come.
Half of that.
But getting back to the Phillies bullpen, Vince, I'm not worried about the bullpen. I think another arm is needed, sure, but whatever. Their bullpen's fine. The rotation is honestly another guy that has to have a big year. Taijuan Walker. He's already on slippery ice with the organization, in my opinion. And Dombrowski.
Isn't it all ice slippery?
Yeah, sure, but this is really slippery ice. I mean, this is like the type of ice that you don't want to go goddamn near. All right.
And I can relate, and I know about ice.
I think Seamus meant thin ice.
Thin ice. Yeah. He's on thin ice with you.
Seamus was thinking of the hit
Seamus
album
got-
"Slippery
Seamus got
When
the-
Wet."
No, Seamus got the phrases on thin ice and slippery slope, and he fused them into one.
That's what I do,
Slippery
dude.
ice.
Listen, I'm a little rusty, dude. It's been a while since I've done this, okay? I've been at funerals and shit. So, you know what I mean? So just leave me alone.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'll cut you
I
some
don't know what
slack.
you
My
mean.
bad.
Yeah, thanks, man. But I'm just like, leave it to me to be. This is a fucking disaster. But leave it to me to be the guy that tries to get the show back on track. That might be a first time.
It's just because we're
first
talking
time
about
ever.
the Phillies.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the only reason
You
you wanna
guys
get
are
it
going to
back on track.
sabotage. Meanwhile, I have to listen to Vince and Pat talk about like Jaylen Brown for breaking down like Jaylen Brown for
Why
3
would I ever
hours in
talk
the middle
about
of
him?
basketball season, and
Why would I ever talk about Jaylen Brown?
talking about Vic Fangio's dick and shit. Like, I
no,
don't
no,
know.
his defense.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
not his
talking.
dick.
I thought you were talking about his dick the whole time. Every time somebody says Vic Fangio's D,
Yeah, he really leaves it out. Like
I mean, I'm telling you, bro, they always talk about it in
they're
a
out.
sexual
It's out
way.
on the field all the time.
He's always got that thing out. I mean, and
His
he's.
D inspired others.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he's got
You
inspirational
could say
D,
he's
Yeah,
very similar to
it-
Drake.
dude. Yeah.
Influential D that Fangio has. Influential.
Well, that's something else, isn't it?
I hope we're still talking about defense here.
yeah, of course.
Ty, I don't know what else you're referring
Where's your
to
dirty
talking
mind going,
about,
Ty?
But you got to get your mind out of the gutter, man.
Anyway, from Vic Fangio's dick to
No.
No,
D.
the defense.
The
What's all you
D.
get?
speaking of defense, Johan Rojas is apparently going to get the starting center fielder's job. Like if
See,
he
he was
has
going
like
to be
a
on my list of
decent.
most important Phillies this year.
Yeah, let's just do that now. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Johan Rojas, #1 for me.
So each of us was supposed to get a top 3 most important for the 2024 season Phillies, like Phillies player, the top 3 that are most important to the team's success this year. And mine's kind of interesting, but let's have Pat. So we already know Johan Rojas is on your list.
Yeah, I mean, like he needs to prove that he belongs in a batter's box.
Yeah.
He's proven that his defense is great. Love his defense. He just needs to prove that he can hit with the big leagues. Like, obviously, he skipped AAA last year, came straight up. So, like, that's like whatever. But, like, you just need, like, you can't have him in those big spots where everybody's like, should we put Jake Cave in?
yeah, and
Because
that,
Jake Cave also fucking sucks.
that was the most like Mickey Mouse 300 batting average I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I think things just kind of ratcheted up a little bit during the playoffs, and he just couldn't get himself to be ready for the moment.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just
and that's
like,
tough. I mean, he's a fucking rookie at that point. Like,
his situation's weird because like if he makes the opening day roster, which I assume he will, he automatically becomes the best defensive center fielder in the game, arguably, like right away.
yeah,
So I mean, there's value in that, like knowing being a Phillies fan.
yeah. You just don't want a black hole at the nine. at
Yeah,
the
no,
nine
of
spot.
course not. But it's like defensively going from Odubel Herrera, who choked in the Venezuelan league, by the way. Like this, I think they had like a championship or a playoff thing going on this past week, and he just choked in the biggest moments.
That's what he does.
Yeah, that's what he does. And he also like beats the hell out of his
Yeah.
lovers and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, yep, good
think-
old Odubel. So if you go from Odubel Herrera in center field to Johan Rojas in center field,
Yeah, I mean, like you're going from a guy that almost dropped a no hitter ball. to
yeah,
end
I
the
mean
game
he
to
wanted to ruin
a
Cole
guy that-
Hamels' no hitter so bad.
He was like, I hate Hollywood.
Yeah, I hate Hollywood, bro.
But no, I mean, like he's obviously important to the team defensively. The biggest question mark with him right now is what is his hitting going to look like?
Give me a 230 batting average.
No, I don't care about the batting average. I think his average I think will be fine. It's just actually getting hits when we need them.
Yeah.
It's situational hitting more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if he like blossomed into like a 300 hitter with like.
If he could just turn into Shane Victorino, that'd be fucking sick.
That'd be great. Oh my god, that'd be great. Well, he is jacked.
Yeah.
He's
He
jacked
just put
now.
out a highlight tape the other day too. He was like, he made that's what it is, a hype tape, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
And he was like just hitting balls in the batting cage.
Yeah, I'm trying not to think of immediately Ben Simmons and Scott Kingery. I'm trying to block that out of my mind right now.
What are you talking about? Those are some of the best times, man. Watching Ben hit open threes in gyms.
Imagine if you fell asleep between like when Ben Simmons was still loved here and Scott Kingery was still like the next Chase Utley and woke up now and like looked at where they're at now.
So like you're in a coma.
You're in a coma. Dude, it would be impossible for me to believe that.
Yeah, and like
For both of
you're
those
like,
guys.
wait, the Sixers haven't won a championship yet.
Yeah, right.
Waking up from a coma and being like, man, I can't wait to watch Ben Simmons and my favorite quarterback Carson Wentz play dominant this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy the horrible luck that we have as a sports community. So,
So
who else do you have on your list, Pat?
Number 2 for me is JT.
Ooh,
Because
that's solid. It's solid.
I think, I mean, JT was like obviously fine last year. Like he wasn't anything like he used to be. He's getting older. I just want to see him still be able to hold people on like the way he has in the past. Like he still does a little bit, but I want to see like how his aging process is going to come. I don't think he's going to have that much difficulty. I think he'll regress a little bit maybe, but I'm just really hoping he doesn't fall off a cliff.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's no longer best catcher in baseball.
Yeah, but
which
I
is
mean,
fine.
The thing for me is the guy takes care of his body very well. Like I think that he will still be a decent catcher. I just want to see him producing defensively more so, because like you used to literally not be able to steal on the guy.
Yeah, and he regressed a bit last season.
Yeah, so I want to see him just like kind of be himself and actually like get back to having that confidence behind the plate, like actually, executing pretty much.
Going back to the Rhys Hoskins thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's like because Rhys Hoskins wasn't in the Phillies lineup last season, JT Realmuto immediately became my least favorite hitter in important situations. He was the least clutch hitter.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
the Phillies had.
he was literally like you could count on him grounding into a double play in big situations.
Yeah, him and Bohm were like double play machines last year.
And Casty.
And Casty. I think Bohm hit into 24 double plays last year, which was annoying.
Yeah, he led the team at one point.
But it's, dude, every time with the bases loaded, JT Realmuto came up short.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, dude, like...
Except when he hit for the cycle in Miami.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
That was a fun time.
It's hard to believe that was last season.
I know, dude. That was so weird.
Dude, it feels like fucking like 3 years ago he did that.
It really does. That was
I was
weird.
literally watching like a recap of the season. It wasn't even the calendar yearbook or anything. I just saw like a video of JT hitting it, and I was just like, when the fuck did... Oh, right, that was last season. I'm like, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, what is this, like 2019?
Yeah. Yeah, he did hit for the cycle.
Yeah.
How about that?
And then number 3 for me is your buddy, Aaron Nola.
Oh, boy.
Because, I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, if he can just be a dominant pitcher the way we need him to be, strikeout guy, like,
Yeah.
just eat innings, like...
He's
literally
important, man.
Just
I mean,
stop giving up fucking home runs.
yeah.
And that goes a little doubly for Wheeler, too. But, like, Wheeler got it together in the playoffs.
Yep.
Nola did for a little bit and then just, like, fell apart at the end.
Yeah, he only fell apart when it mattered the most.
Yeah, so... No,
I don't
I
see
mean,
it.
I think, like, he's on a big contract. Does he care enough now?
Right.
It's like he got paid. Is he going to do what some players do and just not really give a shit now?
I think that's a good answer there, the Aaron Nola one, because he is like arguably the most important guy to have a great season this year.
Yeah.
Because if you have a healthy Zach Wheeler, if Taijuan Walker, I don't know, I don't even know.
Together.
If he gets his shit together with his splitter is amazing.
Yeah.
If Christopher Sanchez really, really steps up, like, and he had a great year last year, but if he can like really become a part of this rotation going forward, and Ranger Suarez, I mean, it's a top rotation in the National League at that point. But it all depends on that. Aaron Nola, I feel like, is the anchor of that rotation. I know Wheeler is, but like, dude, Nola, you're talking about like outside of Bryce Harper, you're talking face of the franchise. Longest tenured Phil by a mile. I mean, he is a Philly for life, probably. So I mean, it's an important year for him.
Honorable mention, Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Ooh, that's a solid one as well.
Because if he can just like overcome those injuries he had at the end of the year last year and just like figure it out.
Yeah, he was bad last year.
Yeah. I mean, he was hurt for half the year, so it was like I was giving him a little bit of a pass, but like, fuck, man. Like, he was so good the year before. Like, him doing the rockabye against the Braves, man. That was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, man.
There is no one more electric in the playoffs for the Phillies than him when he's on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Him
of course,
Alvarado.
Jose Alvarado. I mean,
like, fuck, man. Like, if you can just have one of those two be your everyday closer.
I know, dude.
And just take over that responsibility. Like, man, like, I would love to see Alvarado do it and then have Sir be your setup man.
Right.
That would be fucking insane. It was what they were basically trying to do the World Series season.
Yeah.
Because it was strike one, strike two, you're out.
Yeah. I mean,
that whole fucking thing.
They're flamethrowers in there, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and you'd love to see Soto actually fucking get with that too. Like,
yeah, like if Soto can limit the meltdowns this year, that would be great.
Because then if you have 7, 8, so if you get your starting pitcher to pitch 5+,
right?
And you say you need to bring in a middle guy for the 6th every once in a while, and then you get Soto, Sir, Alvarado, and they're all fucking on all year. You're not scoring a run.
I mean, that's
in the 7th through 9th,
and that's like best bullpen in baseball.
Yeah,
category.
that's like dream, but
yeah,
like
yeah. Well, we'll see what can happen. Vince, do you have a list?
I do.
All right, let's hear it.
So I was gonna go with JT Realmuto for all the reasons Pat did.
That's fair.
But I'm actually I went with a different one, so just for the sake of variety. But
Freddie
just
Galvis?
a comment on JT Realmuto would just be that I feel like if he can somewhat return to form, even a little bit, that would add a lot to this lineup. Obviously, that goes without saying. But my first number one is actually going to be very chalky, and it's Trey Turner.
Ooh.
Last year we saw a first half of the season Trey Turner that was very, very bad, and a second half of the season Trey Turner, post ovation, that was better, but not Trey.
Thank
Turner
you, Jack
that
Fritz.
We have become not Trey Turner that we've become accustomed to. So if Trey Turner can go back to being best shortstop in baseball, top 3 player, 5 player, whatever you want to say in the sport, Trey Turner, who knows what this team can achieve? Just between having him and Bryce Harper alone is a crazy duo to have. So it's chalky, but Trey Turner's return to form is pivotal for this team to.
It's like having James Harden and Kawhi Leonard on the same team. I mean, I just can't even imagine that.
I still think that the hardest part about Trey last year was watching him play in the WBC and just absolutely rake,
Killing it.
and then having him come here and just suck.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck happened, man?
That was brutal.
Shout out James DeRoss.
Hopefully. My number 2, I'm gonna go with Ranger Suarez.
Ooh, that's a solid one.
I like that.
The reason why I think that is because this is not to say either of these guys are gonna have a bad year or anything, but I think Wheeler and Nola have both shown signs of regression. I think that goes without saying. And
Fair.
I think that if they can, I'm not saying this will definitely happen, but if it does, if they continue to show signs of regression, Ranger Suarez's spot as the best pitcher after those guys in this rotation becomes a lot more pivotal to this team. So
Christopher
this
Sanchez.
I mean, Christopher Sanchez is great, but I mean, if you had to be asked who's the number 3 in this rotation right now, come on, you'd say Ranger Suarez.
Oh, of course. I'm only joking.
Right.
Sort of.
So, I just think that with those two guys showing signs of regression, Ranger Suarez could have a way larger role to play in this season.
Vince, that's a great one, and I do have a little Ranger Suarez nugget for you.
Go for it.
It'll be his first full spring training. Okay, because he's had visa
crazy.
issues with immigration. He's had obviously health issues, and last year I believe he was part of Team Venezuela for World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, he was.
So he hasn't had a full spring, and
no, he was hurt last year.
And he was hurt.
Play
Oh
in
yeah,
WBC.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. So an injury rattled start to the season last year for him. So I'm a type of guy that likes to roam around. You know that song, The Wanderer? But shout out Dion DiMucci. But I'm a guy that believes that spring training is extremely important, especially, I'm not talking about the games. I'm not sitting there saying, oh yeah, spring training games are must-watch TV. No, it's more about, baseball is such a sport about repetition and getting your body into shape.
Getting into a routine.
Especially
Especially for pitchers.
to stay in shape for a grind that hopefully ends in November. So I mean, I think that's very important for Ranger to have a full extended spring training, and because he's getting down there early, according to Dombrowski. So
Yeah, and I mean, like, just to finish off the point you're making, helping my point out, like him getting that time, getting those reps, it could all lead to a step forward for him. And like I said, if the regression for the other two guys continues, you're going to need that. And even if they don't regress, I mean, having a Ranger Suarez that's even better than the version we've already seen, that's
not going to
huge.
hurt.
wouldn't it be
It's
great?
definitely not going to hurt.
Wouldn't it be great if we had a great year from Nola? I'm not saying Cy Young,
but
I'm
just like
saying-
solid.
Yeah,
like
a
not
solid
giving up
year.
a ton of runs, like 2 ERA.
but I will say this. I would not be shocked just because he's such a dog. And I agree with Vince. There have been some signs of regression, although I think Zach Wheeler got shit on far too much last year. I think people were overreacting to the whole Zach Wheeler situation because at the end of the day, that dude was dominant. I mean, if you look at his numbers, the numbers don't lie. He had a good year. I mean, he really did. We're
Yeah,
just
that's
so
why
used to greatness from Zach Wheeler, but he's the type of guy where I would not be surprised if he had a Cy Young award year this year. Like, because he's such a fucking dog. He stays in shape.
Wait, Wheeler or Nola?
A Wheeler.
Oh,
The
okay.
velo's still there. I mean, dude, like this guy is
It's just if he can keep it up the entire season without getting hurt. Because
Yeah.
that's the one thing we've had a couple times with him now, but 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
It's like towards the end of the season, he's a little sore.
And one more thing about Wheeler is he is probably the greatest free agent signing in Phillies history. I will say that.
I mean, I'd give it to Bryce probably.
I don't know. Because with Bryce, we have a championship expectation. And I believe that if we don't win a championship with Bryce here, it will not. It will
he's
be all
still-
for naught.
But he's still probably like the greatest player in baseball that we've
Maybe.
ever signed. Like
Yeah, he's a top 5 player. But Wheeler
Of
was
all
a
time.
Wheeler. Okay, all right. Wheeler's a top 5 signing all time.
okay, I'll take
Phillies
that.
franchise history, and I would argue top 3. But okay,
Fair.
who's your third one, Vince?
My last one is going to be Bryson Stott.
Ooh, stole mine.
I think
Just
that
like Bryson
we
Stott's
are.
going to steal 70
I think-
bases.
I think we are one more not like big step, but just one more decent step from Bryson Stott away from him being like a true star in this
Ooh.
league.
Because then we can
I-
shift him over to short. And then
Exactly. He's
like,
the Tyrese
so-
Maxey of the Philadelphia Phillies.
True.
If he can hit for power just a little bit more, I think
you know
that
what?
he
I hear you. I don't need a lot of power from Bryson Stott.
just I'm saying just
He's-
a little bit more. That's all. Just a little bit.
I think for him, he's
I'm
good
fine.
enough in situational hitting that I don't really
Yeah.
worry about his power.
I'm fine. But like Vince, honestly, yes, that would be phenomenal if he did do that.
Because you already have a
Yeah,
third baseman that
I-
doesn't really hit for power.
Also,
so
real quick, just to
Oh,
get
boy.
it off, my honorable mention. I just wanted to.
I got the
kinda
shirt
get-
on too. I
wanted
fucking
to
hate
get-
this place.
I wanted to get just weird with the honorable mention, so I'll say Andrew Painter.
Andrew Painter. Now, that's interesting because he's not going to be pitching until 2025, they say.
yeah,
Oh,
However,
yeah,
However-
never mind.
however,
it is
Um,
important to see how his rehab
Andrew
goes.
Painter.
Dombrowski did say that his rehab is progressing to the point where now he's long tossing, and that is right where they expected him to be at this time pre-surgery. So the rehab's
I
going
really-
well.
I really love how drafting guys, them getting hurt and like never being able to play, is just married with the Sixers and the Phillies.
You know, I will give you a suggestion for your honorable mention. Another pitcher, another young pitcher, not nearly as talented as Andrew Painter, but Mick Abel. There you go.
Okay, there you go. So my top 3 is Trey Turner, Ranger Suarez, Bryson Stott.
I like that. I like that a lot. You guys had some pretty
That's
good
your
lists.
turn.
Well, I hate going last because a lot of my guys were stolen, but
Well,
That's
give
why I
us your
wanted to go
reason.
first.
yeah. Oh boy. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of mine were stolen except for one. And I'll start with him. Alec Bohm,
Oh,
dude.
so you have 2
I fucking knew you were going to say Bohm.
This is-
That's why I didn't pick him, because I knew you were going to say him.
Yeah, and I'm wearing his shirt. I want to love the guy. I don't
But
find
you
him
fucking hate
attractive.
him.
I don't know how women find him attractive, but I'm not even hating. I think it's awesome that women find him attractive. I just think he looks like a troll, and the hair is very strange. But getting back to baseball, that guy needs to have the breakout year, which I don't think is going to happen. We've been wanting a breakout year from Alec Bohm for years now at this point. He's entering year 4, year 5. He probably is what he is,
Yeah.
which, I mean,
I'm fine with that, honestly.
He's not moving the needle either way, in my opinion.
His defense is like shored up enough, in my opinion, that
he's fine.
It's like whatever.
He's fine. But I mean, I'm talking about more so on the offensive side.
Yeah, I know you are.
This guy needs to get his shit together, or I mean, honestly, I'm not extending him I don't even know when his deal's up. But
unless you can get him on like one of those Braves deals, like 14 years and like $1 million.
I'd rather draft the next Austin Riley, who I thought Alec Boehm had the potential to be, but he will be nowhere near that player ever. Because the Braves are just lucky, and they're just lucky. And I hate them, and I love Austin Riley. And Austin Riley, in my opinion, is a handsome man. More handsome than Alec Boehm. But it's all a matter of preference, I guess. But Boehm needs to have a big year for me to even like consider extending him. I mean, like much less like even rooting for the guy. I mean, he needs to hit 30 homers this year. Boehm needs to have a 30-homer.
Isn't this your third year in a row saying that?
Yeah, but guess what?
Or no, 2 years ago it was 20 plus.
Yeah, and he barely got 20. I mean, and then he literally went like a month or two. I think it was like 2 months without hitting a home run. I mean, dude, what is this? Like, what's going on?
Bryce Harper did that too.
Yeah, but Bryce Harper's Bryce Harper. Alec Boehm's Alec Boehm. And
yeah, he is what he is.
I guess, but like, dude, I need a 30 home run, 100 RBI season from Alec Boehm, or it's a bad draft pick, in my opinion.
What if you get like 20 plus and then like 160 plus RBIs?
That's not going to happen, but I would be. I would still be angry.
What?
Because he needs to be a 25 to 30 home run hitter with that frame, with those weird locks. He needs to have.
You just want him to be Jason Worth.
He's got to have a big year, or else I'm closing the book on Alec Boehm personally. I will no longer support him. He will become the next Reese Hoskins for me. If he doesn't,
yeah, I guess somebody's got to replace Reese in your heart now.
And it will be Alec Boehm if he doesn't get to 30 homers and 100 plus RBIs this year. So Alec Boehm. Another guy that really needs to prove to me that he was worth $100 million is Nick Castellanos.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I was so excited, and I remember it well. The news conference down in Florida when we signed Casty, and the whole "I hit baseballs, dude," like all that weird shit. I was like, all right, he's a douchebag, but he's fucking great, so I don't care. The first year was a disaster, as we all know. I mean, an absolute disaster. That was one of the worst single seasons I've ever seen a free agent athlete have coming onto a new team. That was like the worst. The second year, he bounced back, I guess. Went nuclear against the Braves in the DS. I love that. And then, just didn't do anything.
Can we just relive that for a minute? How crazy that run he went on was.
That was insane.
Dude, he was tying Hank Aaron and Willie Mays and shit.
Just to I just want to we don't want to touch much on last season because it ended so badly, but that's just a moment that I want to live back in for a minute to just remember how fucking crazy.
That was our World Series. Let's be honest.
He was just going insane.
That was our World Series. It really was. And I wish they gave.
Well, yeah, we won the World Series last year.
Oh yeah, we, of course, 2 years in a row. But I honestly wish they. And by the way, it doesn't make sense that they give an MVP to the LCS, to an LCS player, and not a League Division Series player. I think there should be a DS MVP, and I also, quite frankly, think there should be a wild card round MVP, and that would have gone to either Aaron Nola or Bryson Stott. But these are minor details.
I think the reason why is because there's only 2 teams left and they play each other.
I get it.
So the MVP is chosen from that specific game. Whereas if you do any of the other rounds, you'd either have to give out an MVP per game or pick who had the best game in.
Why you can't have a League Division Series MVP of the series?
I guess you could.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What do you think the fucking LCS MVP is? It's the MVP of the series.
So do you mean the series is in a specific team versus team, and each winning team is an MVP?
Yes.
Or the whole DS, and you pick one player out of every team that's left?
I don't think you're understanding what I'm talking about.
The first one, Vince. That's what he means.
In the playoffs, there are 2 teams that compete against each other. All right. Yeah. So the National League Division Series was between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves.
Right.
So
I don't think you understand.
One player from the winning side,
yes, okay,
is the MVP of the series.
So Seamus, I was just making sure that you didn't mean out of all of the games, they would choose one player to be the MVP for the entire
Out of all the
NLDS.
series. Out of all the series.
There's only 2 DSs.
No, I know, but he's saying, would you pick one for each
Yeah,
winning team,
each gets-
or would you
Okay,
pick one overall?
each division series gets an MVP.
Yeah, that's what he
Okay,
said.
that was my question.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's only 2. There's only 2.
My God, dude.
Okay, I guess it works better for the wild card round.
But there's aren't there like 7 of those?
That's my that you're not.
That
we'll
was his
talk about this
point.
later.
Oh boy.
We'll talk about.
Oh, this is getting out of control, dude. I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty high right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm making sense. Also,
Did you ever hear of like a Finals
Sending that to
MVP
USPS.
in like the NBA or like a World Series MVP?
Random drug test for Vince Lobiondo tomorrow.
dude, they don't drug test, bro. They'd have to fire everybody.
Tomorrow, Vince is going to get fired.
Tomorrow's my off day, so I would feel much. Like
Oh, that's going to be even worse. Hey, hope you're enjoying
Hey
your
Vince,
day
can
off.
you come in real quick?
Yeah, that would be horrible if they did that. And then like, hey, see ya. At that point, I would just be like, just tell me over the phone.
Dude, no, listen. When I'm not working, my phone is on Do Not Disturb to all of my managers.
Well, that way you can never get fired, can you? If your phone's on Do Not Disturb, you can never
Listen,
get fired.
I just if they call me on my day off, that shit is going right to voicemail.
All right, so what did I say? I said Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos, and now
Get me one more.
I have to go with another player, I guess, on the Phillies. And all of them were chosen. So
There's
So,
one I can give you.
this is
I'll give
blown
you
up in
I'll
my
give you
face.
a lob.
All right, give me a look.
Christopher Sanchez.
Ooh, I was thinking Sanchi. Yeah, I was thinking Sanchi. I think Christopher Sanchez has a higher ceiling than Ranger Suarez. And that's not a hot take. That's just like
Is it just because he's 6'5"?
look at pure stuff, dude. Ranger, I mean, talking about melting down. That guy, I've seen that guy have some of the worst meltdowns ever. And he's a fan favorite for some reason or another. I guess he brings the vibes.
Well, I mean, he's just like, everybody loves how nonchalant he is about everything he does.
But okay, yeah, I don't like that when he's bad, which he's also very nonchalant when he's bad. So that annoys me.
He did the really cool tossing the ball to himself before he threw to first at one time.
Mhm.
So, like,
he's an entertainer.
So we like him
that
because he
video-
doesn't give a shit at all about playing baseball.
I mean,
No,
that
we
video
like him
of him-
because he's hysterical.
He is, but it's not
That
funny
video of
when he
him singing,
shits the
All
bed.
I Need Is Your Love Tonight. That's like one of my favorite videos.
All I need.
Yeah. Every time I sing that song, I sing it with his accent by default, and I'm like,
That's kind of
why
racist,
do I
Vince.
do that? And then I'm like, wait a second, it's because of Ranger Suarez.
Oh,
You got to
boy.
get out of Northeast Philly, man.
Yeah, we got to cut that, Ty.
Hey man, I put on British accents all the time.
Yeah, but they're terrible people, so that's allowed.
Yeah, by the way, big day,
Yeah, true.
good day.
Yes.
King Charles is finally going to kick the bucket,
He
hopefully.
has cancer. How fucking awesome is that?
Saint
Big
Charles.
day, big week for us Irish. Big week for the Irish.
That includes you too, Vinny. You're honorable.
Yeah.
I listen. You knew something was wrong with that guy when you look at his feet and fingers.
Oh, well, I mean, he's the product of
Just
incest.
like LeBron's feet that are now going viral again.
Yeah, I mean, we got Prince Andrew's fingers, LeBron's feet, and Drake's cock.
And Drake's dick.
Just a lot of appendages getting a lot of time on the
And
internet this
Toby
week.
Keith's stomach. Too
Oh
soon?
yeah, can't forget about Toby Keith's stomach.
That's too soon. He died of stomach
still
cancer.
can't- Drake, so Toby Keith really had to die on the Drake Dick Day, huh? And just get overshadowed.
By the way, like, I hate to say it. All right. Listen, I did the whole like pour one out for Toby Keith thing. Red Solo Cup is a great song, objectively. It's a fun song at a party, okay? Like, but that's it. Like, nobody's like sitting at their house playing, except for O'Leary, brother.
I was about to say I do it all the time.
Nobody's just sitting at their house like, let's put on Red Solo Cup by Toby Keith. The American Soldier, okay, the songs like that, and this might get me fired, but like, dude, songs like that are just
American
they're-
guy.
That's pandering.
the people that cry when they listen to songs like that are
It's
mentally
fucking
ill.
stupid.
They're mentally ill.
Have you heard the Taliban
pa-
song by him though? It's hysterical.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's very anti-Taliban.
Toby Keith is a cosplayer of like the military. Like,
No, he is.
you ever hear that story?
I do
of
give him
him?
credit
Chris
though because
Christopherson one.
I
Is that
don't-
what you're about to reference? Yeah.
let me give
Yeah.
Toby Keith credit though because yeah, he sung about the military and shit and being patriotic, which is cool. But he actually like all right, and this is
Shit
where
was
he gets
going right
credit.
before our very eyes.
This is where he gets credit. He went to those goddamn fucking to the Middle East with the soldiers.
Dude, so many people do that.
Yeah, but dude, like at least
So
he did
many
it.
people
At
do
least, what? So many people? What do you mean? Him and Bob Hope did that, and that's it.
WWE was going there once a year.
Who? Dude, I don't care about the WWE, and that probably wasn't even. They're fake people anyway.
Toby Keith
And by the way,
just-
WWE, your king Vince McMahon likes to get shit on. By the way, so I don't know how you defend that.
Wait. Toby Keith.
That's your guy.
Toby Keith made it like okay to like hate like Muslims after 9/11, and you know what?
Did he? I mean, did he like come out and say
He
like
did
I
normalize
hate
it.
Muslims?
He did normalize it.
Look up the lyrics to the song "Beer for My Horses." It's pretty fucking bad when you
Like
know
what?
the
No, let's get
context.
into it. Like what did he
Wait.
do?
And we all this is I
Back
have
in
to give
my
you credit on this.
days,
We always usually make fun of Bruce Springsteen for recording that 9/11
No,
album.
here we go.
But
Take all
Alan
the rope
Jackson-
in Texas, find out.
Jackson recorded and released a 9/11 song 2 days after it happened.
That's a power move.
Those back
That's a
then,
fucking power
They
move.
were all just trying to gain.
Was
like,
that true? Is that
clout.
true?
Yes. Where were you the day the world stood still, or whatever the fuck the song about 9/11?
Oh wow.
That was released 2 days after it happened.
Well, to be fair to him, he's a songwriter. So I mean, like my dad's the same way. Like if something
Dude.
tragic happens, he could write a song in like a day
Those
about it.
towers,
Which he did.
Those towers came
Many
down,
times.
and every country artist and Bruce Springsteen at the time just rubbed their hands like Birdman, saying like, "Fuck yeah, we're about to make a huge come up."
I think we've all seen this clip that I'm about to reference, but Ty, do yourself a favor if you've never seen this. You're going to want to go on the
Please don't
YouTube.
give him a Pornhub link.
You're going to want to go on the old YouTube and type in Ted Cruz music taste. And I think he was on like Good Morning America or some shit like that. And they're like, because he was running for president, God forbid if he ever won. But the Zodiac Killer is president. That'd be great.
Phenomenal.
So I guess they were asking the stupid questions that are not policy related at all because the media is in bed with the fucking politicians, so they don't care about policy. But they asked him the question, what kind of music do you like, or some weird shit like that. And he was like, my music taste changed on 9/11. And he went on to like talk about how he became a country fan like on 9/11 because like it was so patriotic. And they talked about the soldiers and like, the Southern Bells at the bar that they don't check IDs for before they take home, and like
9/11 ruined country music.
I mean, listen, The Rising's a
Like,
great album,
legitimately.
although it's not country. But that was a great world tour by Bruce Springsteen, and he made a lot of money off those 9/11 victims. But
No, I mean
9/11
Vince is
post-9/11
slightly
country
right.
Post 9/11 country was until like Zach Bryan just came along and put folk country back on the map.
and cocaine.
It's been nothing except for like Beer America.
And repeat. Yeah, that's what it is. They're kind of like
Whereas-
AC/DC and U2, where every song is the same. I mean, every goddamn
Don't
U2
you ever
song's the
group
same.
AC/DC with you two?
All right, let's be honest, dude. AC/DC's great. U2 sucks.
Yes.
But
No,
AC/DC's,
no
I mean,
but.
every song sounds the same.
No.
Every song. And
No.
there's no way
You just
that...
don't like Brian's voice.
I like
That's
his voice.
fine.
I think it's fine. I just don't think it's normal. You know?
Well, yeah, you
I
have
like
a
a-
unique voice. What do
I
you
like a more relatable voice. Like Bob Dylan. I like Bob Dylan's voice.
The worst voice.
said
ever.
no one ever. Bob Dylan didn't even like his own voice. That's why he faked it.
By the
That
way,
wasn't even his real voice.
all right, so my list is what? Castellanos,
I fucking
Bohm,
forgot we were talking about.
Castellanos, Bohm, and Christopher Sanchez. All right, go Phils. Let's talk about the Grammys real quick. Joni Mitchell
Oh my god.
looks horrible. All right, and no
Sounds horrible.
sounds horrible, looks
But she's an
horrible,
inspiration.
is horrible. I mean, she writes a song about paving paradise and putting up parking lots, and all of a sudden she's this big star.
In paradise, put up the parking.
Bop, 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 bop. Which, by the way, the covers of that song are eons better than her version. And I was called like an anti-woman person because I said Joni Mitchell blows. And it's like, dude, all right, let's be real here. Joni Mitchell may have been fine when she was, still alive, and she's no longer, she's alive, but she's not alive. She looks like she died like 10 minutes ago. She sounds horrible. They throw her up on stage with a cane and she's sitting on a throne or some shit. They
For a
panned to,
shockingly long amount of time.
they panned to Beyonce, who's like looks petrified, and it's everyone in the audience looks like, dude,
Beyonce-
That video was hysterical.
in one shot, you had Joni Mitchell scaring the shit out of both Dua Lipa and Beyonce.
I mean,
Their faces were just like, what the fuck is happening?
and the best is, oh my God, for the first time in her career, she's performing at the Grammys. That's an indictment on her. When she was a star, why wasn't she asked to perform at the Grammys?
Because she wasn't actually a star.
Yeah, I mean,
She wasn't good.
No, she was fine, dude. She went
Yeah,
through.
she wasn't good. She was fine.
There was an era of Joni Mitchell where she like embraced the guitar in hand female front person of a band, electric guitar shit, and she was great doing that. I mean, but that only lasted like a year, and then she stopped doing it and she became Joni Mitchell, who is overrated, wrote a song about Pay Paradise, put up a parking lot. Yeah, I probably banged Bob Dylan. I mean, Bob whatever.
Dylan probably banged everybody.
Probably. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't?
Especially Froggy.
If we're talking Grammys and older artist performances, we got to talk because on the positive side there was Tracy Chapman performing.
Oh,
that was amazing.
Which, by the way,
that was
I
incredible.
love Luke Combs, but
That was
like,
fucking incredible.
He didn't even need to be there. I love him, but like,
I wish he wasn't.
That was her. That was just her moment, and
Yeah.
it was awesome because that was her first public appearance in like who knows how long, and she sounded fucking great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she looks great. She sounds great.
She sounded like she hadn't aged a day. Like
Yeah,
the
right, I was gonna say
antithesis
that.
of Joni Mitchell.
I mean, she was literally the opposite of Joni Mitchell. I mean, like,
She was phenomenal.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal.
she was great, and she's a queen, and I love Tracy Chapman.
Also, like, I guess, like, you know, it's a shame that it took Luke Combs doing this to prove the point I'm about to make, but like, it's nice to see that song getting the recognition it deserves. Not that it didn't back then, but just like for a new generation of people, because it's in my opinion maybe the greatest song ever written.
It's up there. It's a top 10 song of all time, no doubt. No doubt.
like, it's
I just
nice
hated the
that even-
hate that he got when he made the song.
Yeah,
From people.
and
yeah.
It
That
was
dumb.
unnecessary.
it was
Yeah.
unnecessary. And I also hate the people that thought that it was a Luke Combs song. That really bothers me. And there were a lot of those, and that's just bad parenting. That's bad parenting. Is what that is.
People that were mad he covered it. It's like, do you really think that he just did that without her permission? Like, you
Yeah.
legally can't.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I think that it was a nice thing to do. I mean, bringing that song back, it's a great song.
I'm sure Tracy Chapman ain't mad getting all the royalties off that.
Fuck
getting to
no.
perform at the Grammys.
She can buy a
getting
fast car now.
She won Song of the Year at the CMAs. Like, she fucking made out like a bandit here.
And an artist that performed that I love, he's like top 2 artist for me, top 3 maybe. Billy Joel, his new song's horrible.
Oh my God,
It is so
I still
bad.
haven't watched the performance of that.
But he redeemed himself by breaking out the best party song of all time. You may be right. I mean, that song's electric, dude. I could put that on as soon as I wake up and be ready for the day, man. Red Bull gives
You
you,
just
wings.
jump through a glass house.
I could. Nicely done.
Can I get a quick rant? I know the Grammys kind of came up randomly. Just not a rant, but like, I just want to say about the Grammys. You know, the Grammys have always had a weird relationship with the rap genre as a whole.
Yeah.
But listen, whether you like rap or not, statistically speaking, right now, it is the most listened to genre in the world based off the numbers. Whether you like it or not, whether that means it's good or bad, it's the most popular in the world. Yet the Grammys gave out all 3 or 4 of the hip hop awards pre-show.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a violation.
Like,
It's fucking
what
weird.
are we doing here?
It's a violation.
It's the biggest genre in the world.
I will say this though. I think you're right with regards to rap being the most relevant genre right now, and it should be reflected in an award show about, you know, music.
Contemporary music,
That being
especially.
said, though, I think rock and roll has also been abandoned by the Grammys, and it's been abandoned by the Grammys for a long time as well.
Yeah,
so
I mean, Boy Genius won Best Rock Album, and I love Boy
Yeah.
Genius. They are not rock at all.
No.
the problem with the Grammys, Vince, is a lot of things, but
I mean, it's all bullshit.
yeah, it's all bullshit. It's just like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, how that's become a huge farce.
I mean,
and it's been for years now.
The girl who won Best New Artist has a song with Ariana Grande from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And has been around since
my
like
boy Noah
2013.
Khan
Yeah.
it was a bad night for our boys because
Yeah.
Noah Khan got robbed. and
Zach Bryan got robbed.
lost
Did you
to-
see his date that night? I think he's doing fine.
Brianna Chicken Fry.
Oh,
You know
Yeah.
who she is?
Nah, but she's hot.
She's a Barstool girl.
She's from Barstool.
Oh,
yeah.
well, good for him.
Well,
Now Shane's
also,
going to
like,
go home and look her up.
She's pretty
Lainey
hot.
Wilson, Lainey Wilson,
Lacey.
having a really fat ass carried her. To
Literally.
the fucking
Yeah,
Grammy, so
her
good for
fucking music sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
She's
I've
hot, but
also
her
heard-
music sucks.
I've also heard her ass.
She's also not that hot. It's her ass. You know,
It's gone down and deflated.
it has deflated, much
What,
like
did
Tom
somebody stick a pin
Brady's.
in it?
Much like Tom Brady's balls, Lainey's ass has deflated a bit.
I heard a rumor that there was a chance that she might have went on Ozempic and her ass might be gone now. Which, by the way, Ozempic becoming a real epidemic.
Yeah.
I heard Bryce Dallas Howard was on it, and that's just
You should
you're just robbing the world of the elite milk.
you should talk to Joe Paradise next time you're over my house about Ozempic. He's got a whole rant about it.
Yeah, all he does is talk about it for hours and hours and hours and hours and
I'm
hours.
not joking.
Yeah.
He was talking about how Matt Patricia was probably on it, and like every time he'd pop up on the screen, yeah, he's on Ozempic.
Yeah, dude, it's literally any like rich person that has lost weight recently.
Yes,
They're on that.
he's probably
he
right.
might be right.
He may.
He may be right. Down.
Way to bring it all the way.
He's
back
definitely
there.
crazy.
Friday night, I crashed your party. What a great song. But the weird part about that song, though, if we're gonna get into specifics here, is "Alone in Your Electric Chair." What does that mean? Remember how I found you there, alone
Could've
in
just
your
been like a recliner, bro.
electric chair.
No, it's talking about killing yourself.
I told you dirty jokes until you smiled. I mean, come on, Billy.
Realistically, it's probably about like somebody being in a hospital bed.
Probably. Dan McGuckin being obsessed with him is weird.
That really
It doesn't
took
make
me,
sense.
That didn't make sense to me either.
Because he's this like little guy, and I guess Billy's also this little guy, so maybe it does make sense. All the little folks got to stick together. Cue Randy Newman. Show up, people got
Where's Tiny
no
Tim?
reason to live.
Where's Tiny Tim when you need him?
Dead, very dead.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
I was gonna
That
say,
guy
I
should have been
think we're
shot.
Yeah, but
think-
my dad opened for him.
Yeah, but your dad's a way better musician than that fraud.
Apparently, he's a cool guy though.
Yeah, sure.
We were gonna talk Sixers.
That guy was on Epstein's island before it was even a thing.
That's how he learned all the kids. It was
Sixers, and we're
boys.
getting towards the end here, but there's really nothing really worth talking.
Well, yeah,
about
Joel
right
Embiid's
now.
done.
I mean, Joel Embiid died.
The
The
Sixers
season
are apparently
died.
the Sixers are apparently buyers tomorrow.
Yeah, well, what does that
Dude,
mean?
They're
We're
gonna
fucked,
get
man.
some like
They're
shitty
gonna get
contracts.
Buddy Healed and say, "Let's go for it."
Yeah, they're just gonna get guys that expire next year. They're gonna just ride it out. see
Trade
what
the Anthony
happens.
Melton, please.
Listen, we'll always have
Trade
those
Mo
first
Bamba.
couple
I mean,
months.
Can we address Mo Bamba is fucking trash. All right, why is he on
Yeah,
this
but the
team?
song.
Yeah, it's a great song. Great song.
You know what's way worse than that, Seamus, and not way worse, but way harder to admit that B-ball Paul might not be that good.
He stinks, dude. I've been saying this for years.
No,
But-
I mean he's fine for what he is.
Yeah, but dude,
he's a backup center.
Yeah, he's a backup center, dude. But like,
He looks lost out there.
Hey,
at
dude,
times.
all he
He
does,
always has.
dude,
But
all
he plays
does,
hard and he brings energy. That's all you
I
need
think,
him to do.
I think Joe DeCamera like actually described B-ball Paul like the best I've ever heard him described. He's like, dude, he looks like a pinball ball out there. He just like runs into people all day on the court. It's like, dude, what are you doing? He looks lost. He's fun, I guess, like out the mud and all that shit. But like, he sucks.
But
Like,
just to put things into perspective, B-ball Paul is 6'9". Mo Bamba is 7 foot. Man's is about as useless as
Yeah,
a glass
there's-
hammer.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, like you are fucking useless
He's
if
horrible.
you cannot grab a damn rebound and you're 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
and you know what's funny? Like, we all laughed at that signing. Like everyone
Oh,
shared
yeah,
it in
I
the
was
group
like,
chat.
why-
Mo Bamba,
why?
LOL. Like, what the fuck is this?
Like it's the dumbest fucking thing ever.
Dude, he was signing all like big men at one point.
Yeah,
By the
we
way,
had like 4 center because we still had Trez.
Montrezl Harrell, oh my
your
God.
boy. That's your boy.
I do. He did go off that one
Seamus was
time
in love with
in
him.
the preseason.
Seamus was in love. He watched one preseason
dropped
game of
like
Montrezl
40.
Harrell last year, and Seamus was like, "Oh my god, I fucking love this guy." And I was like, "He sucks." And
Well,
Seamus was
to
like,
be
"Yeah,
fair.
but he's cool." And I was like, "But
To
he
be fair.
sucks."
He looks cool. He is cool. He's
but
funny.
he's just bad at basketball.
Sucks at basketball. Didn't know
Yeah.
it at the time. He went off in the preseason against like OKC.
If we got
or
him like
something.
10 years ago, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would've been cool.
when he was competing for 6th man of the year with a guy on his own team.
Yeah.
Him and Lou Will going back and back.
Oh boy. Yeah, the Sixers is a disgrace, as Meek Mill would say.
Dude, it sucks because like those first couple
What was
months
that
were
sound?
awesome, and they were playing for, like,
Ty, can we do our own like drop of the week? Because that would have
That
been
sound was crazy.
that
That sound was wild.
that would have been a drop of the week.
I've been telling y'all, let's get these sound drops going.
Yeah, I
Vince,
know.
I don't know if you realize what we're talking. When you started talking, you were like, "Nyeh, nyeh," and we were like, "What the fuck?"
You sounded like you had a hamster going up your ass,
I
like
don't know
just
what you're talking
just running
No,
up your
it's like-
asshole.
How How do you know what that sounds like?
I've listened to Howard Stern and John DeBella from the 90s, and there's a whole like thing that happened with hamsters, but and assholes. But it's a radio thing. You wouldn't understand. But yeah,
Okay.
Danny Bonaducebag was involved. It was a whole thing. I think Danny Bonaducci was actually my first like radio idol. He's a piece
I
of
don't
shit.
even know who that guy is.
He's a redheaded guy that talks like this. Danny Bonaducci. You
So
know what I'm
he's just
talking
Paul
about, Ty?
He's just Paul
I figured-
Giamatti.
No,
I think
you
it's
worked
pretty-
in the radio business and you don't know who Danny Bonaducci
I mean, he
is.
sounds like he's just Paul Giamatti, but like not famous.
I figured for Seamus, your first inspiration would have been like Rush Limbaugh or something.
Yeah, big Rush Limbaugh guy. I hate people in the Middle East. George Bush rocks. Oh, they brought down those towers. That's like what Rush Limbaugh's show was for like 30 years. It was just that. It
And
was
every
like,
dad in Delco was listening to it.
it was like Muslim people are bad. Can you call the hotline? Our next guest is Sean Hannity. He's going to talk about how, you guessed it, Muslim people are bad. It's like, dude, that's all. Like, and,
Don't
like,
even getting started on AIDS either.
but guess what? He will tell you he's very religious. Oh, I'm very religious. Let's support the Iraq War and every other illegal intervention that George W. Bush wanted to do. I love it. I love the military-industrial complex.
I bet you Rush Limbaugh was chopping it up with Toby Keith.
Oh, 100%.
He had him on speed dial.
They're chopping it up in hell now.
All right. That doesn't exist. But anyway, that's not real. You're gonna rot and you're gonna get eaten by bugs and you're gonna like it. But
But are you
anyway,
going to be in the ground or above ground?
I don't know. I don't know, dude. I think I'm traumatized. I think death has traumatized me since I was like so young. Like I've always just. It's also part of being Irish.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Is there?
I saw my first person die when I was like fucking 8.
Yeah, you're exposed to death. All ages. Like I'm pretty sure I was at a baby's funeral at one point. Like one of my
I've
cousins.
been to like 3 babies' funerals. It's fucking
yeah,
terrible.
so like I'm just, like the whole death thing has just been like whatever for me.
Yeah.
But now I think it's starting to catch up to me. Now I feel like I'm about to like go off the deep end. Not go off the deep end, but
You can't walk that back.
I think I'm on the cusp of being in a really, really dangerous mental state. Like caused by trauma. Because like I've always like brushed off like the fact that, oh yeah, that guy's dead. I was at his funeral. I saw his fucking open casket. He looked like shit. Like I'm so
At least
used
this one
to
was
it.
closed.
Yeah, well, yeah, shout out to him. But thank you for that. But like I'm so like I'm almost like at my breaking point when it comes to it. Like the next person that dies,
We gotta get you some help.
no, I mean I'm fine. But
Famous last words.
Sounds like-
I'm fine, dude. But it's just, it's starting to feel weird in my brain now. Like my whole mental health is like probably on the verge. But
The therapist listening, please reach out and we can talk options.
Vince, you're the last one to talk. Shut up.
the only therapist I need is Trey Turner. All right, I need Trey Turner and
Seamus
Bryce
is putting his
Harper.
entire psyche in the hands of the Philadelphia Phillies. Surely nothing can go wrong.
No, dude, this is literally what's like getting me by day to day. Is counting down the days until spring training, until the first spring game, until opening day.
It's always a fun metric to see how quickly in Philly sports you can turn from being excited for the sport being back to wanting to kill yourself because the sport is back. It's always like that. It's fun to see
Sixers
how
prime
long it
example.
takes until you get there. Yeah, exactly. It's fun to see how long it takes until you get there.
I do think it's
The
really
Eagles-
funny that, like, what was it, a week and a half ago, Vince, you tweeted out that you were so back on the Sixers, and then Embiid just fucking tore his meniscus.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
that timing was actually impeccable.
that was
It
pretty
would be
good,
really-
honestly.
It would be real Sixers too for the Clippers to continue dominating
Mm-hmm.
and like win the finals.
Apparently,
I think they'll all choke in the playoffs. But
apparently Tyrese Maxey's playing tonight,
yeah, he's the only starter probably then.
and maybe Toby. I don't know.
When you just said that, Pat, I for some reason envisioned Tyrese Maxey playing 1-on-5. Or
That's
five
basically
Tyrese
what he
Maxeys.
does when he has like all benches with him. Like
Why is Camden Yards trending?
maybe they got a 9/11.
Did Camden Yards die too? Jesus Christ.
Camden Yards got 9/11.
Let's see here.
All right, let's
Oh, here's the reason. Camden Yards is getting Coke products. Upgrade over Pepsi.
wow. Let's-
Coca-Cola products are set to come to Oriole
Oh,
Park
he's
at
still
Camden
going.
Yards. according to a source with direct knowledge of the negotiations, replacing Pepsi as the ballpark's beverage provider.
Okay. Enough beverage talk. We're getting ready to get out of here. Let's lock in. We want to, have. I don't know if you guys prepared anything, but I said earlier, let's just start bringing. At the end of the show, we'll bring a couple takes or just something you want to talk about that we normally maybe don't get to on the show. If there's just anything you want to touch on before we get out of here, you got anything for me, Seamus?
I don't want to go first.
I thought, well, you got your shit taken when you didn't go first last time.
Yeah, and it led to something epic for the show. So, Vince, you go first.
Okay, I guess I will go first. My thing that I would like to talk about for a minute that we definitely normally would not talk about is what's going on in the WWE.
Oh,
The
boy.
Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has come back as an executive board member of the parent company of the WWE.
All right, Vince.
And he forced himself into the WrestleMania main event until there was a huge, dude, you're saying whatever, but this thing was trending #1 on Twitter for 2 days.
No, it wasn't.
Hashtag we want Cody, because Cody Rhodes got fucked out of the WrestleMania main event.
Don't even know who that is.
Rock. He's the son of Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream.
The singer?
No.
Dusty Springfield.
Road,
Dusty Springfield. Sorry.
Take me home.
But yeah, anyway, it's just been crazy. I'm going to WrestleMania, so they better fucking give me what I want. That's all I got.
What do you want?
You better bring a
Cody
gun.
Rhodes to fight and defeat Roman Reigns.
All right. Well, I hope you get it, Vince.
Not The Rock.
Just get a gun, Vince, and then they'll have to do anything you say if you do that.
I genuinely wish I had something to add to that, but I just I don't.
Well, that's why this was the fucking segment where we talk about what we want for a minute.
All right. I would like to talk about how Vince McMahon.
How about you try respecting other people's fucking opinions?
I do respect it, but you in turn.
How about you fucking get real?
See, here's where
You
you're
absolute piece of shit.
Here's where you're like the biggest fraud on the planet with because you're a big respect it. Let people like what they like, dude. Like that's such a cop out, weird, very strange thing to say. Because you say that yet are so hypocritical when the other person has something to say about that. Well, hey, respect what I think about your shitty opinion too. It's a two-way street. So that's where your argument that, let people like what they like is flawed because you don't accept when people criticize what other people like. So you're doing the same thing, you fraud. Anyway.
You've given me a lot to think about.
It's true. And I can't text it to you because it doesn't come out right when I text people. I have to say it to.
You know what, man? I just gotta be better for the people around me.
You do, because I get it. You want to say Seamus, I like wrestling, and if I say wrestling sucks, no, dude, let me like what I like. Well, you have to let me like what I like and dislike what I dislike as well. All right.
Yeah, you got me.
That's all. All right. Let me see. Adele Springsteen died. The mother of Bruce Springsteen. She was 98 years old. Adele Springsteen. Adele Springsteen. She's the original.
She thought Adele died.
She's the original Adele.
You just scared me.
No, dude, who cares? I mean, even if she did die, would that be a huge loss for you personally? I mean, come on, dude.
Big loss for Rich Paul.
Mom when she died.
98.
She was just about to turn 99.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, dude. Bruce has got some stock.
Hold out for another year and a half.
He's got some genes, man. You know what I mean? He's got some genes.
The ones he wore in the Born in the USA.
Yes.
That close to 100 and die before 100, you're a fucking loser.
I mean,
so you're calling Betty White a loser?
She had dementia.
Don't you dare fucking call Betty White a loser.
She had Alzheimer's for the past 10 years.
Betty White would fuck you.
Longevity matters, bud.
I don't know. If you get that close to 100 and don't get there, you come off like a loser.
I disagree.
Betty White would literally fuck you.
87 and 97.
All right, dude. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say to that, but R.I.P. Adele Springsteen. She was a queen. She was a true Italian queen. And Vince, the fact that you're shitting on your ancestors is it's kind of suspect.
I am not shitting on anyone's ancestors.
They're your ancestors. She's Italian. You're Italian.
Yeah, but I'm more Irish in my blood.
Ah, give me a break.
He
finally admits that he's more Irish.
It's only when it's
I've been
convenient.
admitting this for years.
Yeah, but you only say it when it's convenient for you.
Yeah, like St. Patrick's Day, you're fully Irish, but on Columbus Day, you're all about Christopher Columbus and the Italians, aren't you?
Christopher Columbus is a raping, pillaging piece of shit.
I don't know why you have a poster of him in your room.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of historical figures. It's right next to my Andrew Jackson painting.
Well, dude, hey, listen. Some people have Dua Lipa on the wall, and others have Andrew
Others have
Jackson
the
and
Trail of
Toby
Tears.
Keith on there.
Yeah, I have John Hancock framed on my wall.
Well, he was actually a good one, wasn't he? Wasn't he like fine?
He was just famous for his signature.
Yeah, it's a big cock. I mean, big signature.
And we start the show where we ended talking about big cock.
Do you have anything to say?
Or we
Yeah.
end the show where we started.
All right, let Pat get his point in.
On a more serious note, I just want to give a shout out to Vince and Ty. Seamus and I did have a really tough death of one of our friends.
Yeah.
In the past 2 weeks.
And it was not Adele Springsteen.
It was not. But seriously, thanks to Vince and Ty for carrying on without us.
Yeah, you guys did very well.
Yeah, the shows were great. And
Thank
little
you.
shout out to everybody that's been helping us through that.
Yep, big time. We appreciate it. And also, next week, I guess we have to save this debate for. We have to have the WIP debate in here because I heard you guys talking about it on the last show, and I have a lot to say about sports radio and what they're doing in Philadelphia. I have a lot to say. All right, and I think that you guys are both going to disagree with me, so we'll save that for next week. Also, by the way, the
Sounds
Super
good.
Bowl's happening, so
I don't really give a fuck.
don't care about
Fuck the
that.
Niners.
I mean, yeah, me and Ty already talked about it last week. I knew you guys really didn't give a fuck at all.
Listen, I think that I'll say one more thing about the Super Bowl. I think it's an absolute disgrace and farce that the Niners are favored in that game. It's not going to happen. They're going to get blown out, if anything. Patrick Mahomes, he's coming home with a trophy.
Yeah, Chiefs
He's going to
locked it in.
Disneyland. Andy Reid's going to go there too with him, and hopefully Brittany Mahomes gets left behind.
Okay.
So for Cecily
Well,
Tynan, Jim Gardner, I'm Seamus Doyle saying good night from the.
guys.
What the hell is this? The Sandbox Studio? I don't even know what the hell this is. Good night from Media, Pennsylvania. Oh shit! They know where we are now. Da-da-da-da-da.